I mean, difficult games aren't for everyone, I know that. Some people don't have the time to just invest in something so difficult. But personally, I quite like a challenge when I play a game. I say that and then I say I probably won't ever play this game on hard, so sending mixed messages here, me. Maybe. But most instances, yeah, I like a challenge. I've beaten Bloodborne on New Game +2. And I know you can go way higher than that, but that's about... Most people don't even get past the standard game. Like, if you go to the trophy section on PlayStation, at least, it's like 50% of players drop off after the first boss. And to be fair, the first boss of Bloodborne, if you're a new player, is really difficult. I mean, most of the time, a first boss is meant to be easy and get you used to the mechanics of the game, but Father Gascoigne is brutal unless you understand the mechanics of the game. And even then, he's tough, which I think is brilliant. He's definitely a very imposing boss, and he ranks pretty highly on... If I had a boss list for the game, he would rank pretty damn high. "100 missiles. I think the max is 255? That usually seems to be the number you can reach at the highest point in Metroid, 255. If you're wondering why I'm not fully exploring some rooms, it's just because sometimes I know when they're a dead end, or I know the best ways to get all of the items in there, so yeah. One thing that is troublesome about playing the game on my laptop is my laptop has this weird thing where if I'm holding down a certain number of keys at once, it won't let me do more. So like I can be trying to diagonal aim and charge beam at the same time and it won't let me jump as well. So that is kind of annoying. Oh, god damn it. But I can't be asked to get used to a gamepad or whatever they're called. This is high jump, right? Yeah, thought so. Metroid games have always had mechanic, and I know this might come out of nowhere, but like, if you charge beam and then do a spin jump, you basically do a pseudo spin attack. And there's just, the games generally have lots of kind of hidden stuff like that, which is always very nice, but there are mechanics you can just discover by accident that can be helpful and stuff like that. Like in Super Metroid, you had the power bomb beam combo things, which were nifty. I didn't really use them in the actual game, but simply having them in the game is kind of cool. And another thing I miss from like older games, and these were quite prominent in the time where I was starting out gaming, is unlockable content. Like, not DLC, just content you can unlock through the base game just by playing it and doing certain things, like costumes, secret galleries, secret levels even, cheat codes that are built into the game, stuff like that. You don't find that most times now, unless it's locked behind a microtransaction or DLC. And some games do have good DLC models, like, again, Dark Souls and Bloodborne. The The DLC models behind those are really good. The old Hunters DLC is absolute top-notch. But most games it'll just be like, oh, you can buy X skin for this character. Isn't that engaging? Ooh. And microtransactions, I just take them out of games, please. Please. It's such a horrible business model. And I'm sure plenty of people would agree on that. I've never heard a single person say, yay, microtransactions, those are fun. Or anything along those lines. Coming up to the mini-boss right now. In the original Metroid, this was a pretty shitty fight. Like the original Metroid 2. Because you just damaged him with multiple bombs. Instead of like your beam or missiles. But in this it's actually pretty in-depth. Because for one, he actually has some pretty nice varied attack patterns. But you have to damage him with your beam and missiles. Oh. Okay, apologies for the interruption. Where was I? Oh yeah, you have to use multiple bombs to hit him into the electrical coil things, like that. Which is much better than just spamming multiple bombs in his face. Although there is one attack in particular in his third phase, which I just detest. And we'll see if he does it or not. Sometimes he doesn't, sometimes he loves to spam it. Okay, he's doing this. Yeah, he's doing it. This horrible green fire one that just takes ages. Oh, yeah, he's spamming it this time. He's spamming it. Like, there's no real consistent way to dodge it, and it takes so long to go away, and as I say that, it goes away. Ugh. Okay, he's dead. He's not really that difficult. Unless you come in here without the Varia suit, in which case he can actually pose a threat. He did actually kill me one time, back when the game was still in demos. And you got like a demo every year. I mean, kudos to the guys who developed this. It was a very small team. Originally it was just one guy, I think, doing all the programming and all the stuff like that. And it gradually got bigger and bigger as the community grew. And I'm honestly amazed it actually came to pass. And I'm very glad it did, because it's a brilliant fan remake. It doesn't add too much, but it stays pretty true to the original. But it refines it in all the ways it really needed. And most of the issues with it come from the base game. So they couldn't really change that stuff, especially. I don't think. But again, I'm not a game reviewer, so this is just my opinion. It's nothing especially professional or something such as that. So time to start hunting down the Metroids, because I've got all the power-ups in this place now. Fucking stop. Can't remember if those weird, like... Oh, you shit. If these weird, like, spiky Metroid things were in the original Metroid 2. In fact, was this area? No, this area was definitely in the original Metroid 2. At least I think it was. Correct me in the... whatever if I'm wrong. I don't... You used to be able to trap this Metroid in the terrain, but they changed the terrain pattern to stop it, I think. Because this is one room in particular, I definitely remember them altering the layout of after the demos. Alright, it's not down here. The entrance is up there. I came down here for no reason whatsoever. Just to get... Ah, come on. There is some slight game slowdown, which is kind of throwing me off in places, but I think I'm getting used to it now. if I'm boring you with my conversations with myself, I can't really do much about that. I can't record with anyone, so I'm just having to ramble with myself. So, yeah, apologies if I'm not doing a good job of that. I feel like I'm not doing too bad, but I don't know. I might not be the best person to judge that. Oh, you sneaky bastard. Other than that, pretty easy fight. This is where they start getting harder though. I think, at least. Because this is where they start to ram you and their AI gets better. And stuff like that. One thing I don't like about the spider ball is how slow it makes you. But I guess for something that can basically let you go pretty much anywhere, it's kind of necessary drawback. Just to make sure it isn't too overpowered, because otherwise you'd use it everywhere. And sometimes I have, when I was looking for items I'd missed. But most of them don't actually require special use of the spider ball. There was one in the Kozo ruins, and there was that puzzle one where you needed it to stop the blocks from breaking underneath you, but most of them you can get to without the spider ball. Come on, aggro. Shit, missed. Come on. Ah yeah, see, they start charging now. And that, if you get caught in the right place on the hitbox, that does actually do a sizable amount of damage. But they do take a little bit to cool down from it, so if you get them to hit something, which I did not do, I failed miserably at that. Shit. There we go, he's dead. I think there's just two more in this area, and then I can move on. Yeah, that seems about right. God, how long ago was it that I tried recording this with Georgie? It was after we did our Silent Hill playthrough. That must have been like a year ago. It feels like a long time ago. Huh. It was oh, come on. It wasn't too long after the game had been released, and it had been DMCA'd at that point. Or had it? I can't remember well enough. Shit. I think she still has the footage. I think she deleted it recently, but up until recently she had the footage still. Oh, come on. You with your little grabby legs. Yeah, see, if they hit something, they'll kind of stay there for a bit. So if you can catch them in a good spot, it's a nice opportunity to get a hit in. Come on, you fuck. Don't go down there. I can't hit you down there. I have to hit your belly. Your weak, mushy green belly with the weird red shit inside. There we go, he's down. One more. Yeah, this is where they introduce the next version of the Metroid Evolution. Which in the original was pretty much just a bigger, slightly slower alpha. But in this one they actually are quite a bit more different. Whee! Yeah, they'll do that. And they do have a grabby attack later on where they'll grab you and drain your energy like a normal Metroid would. Although Gammas are the only one that does do that in the game. Like, the Zetas and the Omegas, they don't have any way of doing that. Which is odd. A little bit, yeah. Ah, fuck. They're pretty tanky compared to alphas. Not as tanky as some of the later ones, but they're pretty tanky. They never get especially annoying either, but yeah, sometimes they can get annoying. It's later on though, at the start they're fine. They're pretty well paced. Shit. Oof. How long have I been recording for? Probably about an hour now. It's hard to tell. I'll keep going for a bit. Why not? Fuck. Okay, what's the next area? It's not the tower. Oh, right, yeah, okay, I remember what the next area is. That's where I get Space Jump. Basically makes the Spider Ball pretty much obsolete. What was the first game with Space Jump? No, it was Metroid 2, wasn't it? That was the first one with Space Jump. And in the Prime games, it pretty much just became Double Jump. Oh, the yawns have returned. Excuse me. Back when I was trying to record Soma, I was yawning a lot then too. I'm not entirely sure why. It's not very late. It's pretty much just afternoon. Ah, fuck. Oh, come on. There we go. You need the high jump for this one because otherwise you can't reach the platforms, and it's structured in such a way that Spider Ball can't really be used to do it, which is fine. It's not very out of the way, so you don't have to backtrack much. I know some people hate backtracking, but Metroid is kind of all about it, most of the time at least. It's nice that they kept the ability to see, like, a rough idea of where power-ups are on the map, and which ones you've got or not. Because it doesn't tell you exactly where they are, if they're well hidden, but it just tells you roughly where they are, so you can kind of guess, and start having a look. Which is nice. It's a nice feature. It's much better than just being left completely in the dark about where everything is, and just eventually having to look everything up. And it's a good balance between, it's not hand-holding, but it gives you enough information to do what you need to do, you know. I like stuff like that, it's well thought out. To be honest, that kind of describes how I like to do writing, because if you watched any of my stuff, my videos, you'll know I write books. So, generally I think, in my opinion, the biggest enemy to a good book is exposition. Like, just a wall of text explaining something, like, whether it's a monologue or a long, droning prophecy or tale or anything of that sort. I think that's absolutely, what's the word, antithetical to what a book should be. I think it's much better to kind of give your reader a rough idea of what the basic underlying thing is, and then give them cues through dialogue and interactions and all that stuff at the rest, and just let them connect the dots. Because your readers aren't idiots. They're people with bloody brains in their heads. At least I hope they are. So, yeah. I mean, nowadays, you don't see many good stories coming out. Like, you've got fucking Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey getting movies, and it's just, why? No one with actual taste likes this stuff whatsoever. But it just pisses me off a little. Heck, even Harry Potter pisses me off. I think the Harry Potter books are severely overrated, and J.K. Rowling as a person I think she's horrible. And this is another thing I've gone over in another playthrough, in the Last Guardian playthrough, and I probably spoke about it better with Georgie, because, oh god, this thing gets fast. For a second I thought it wasn't going to turn around to face me, and I just get a ton of free hits. Shit. Okay, there we go. He's dead. He's not dead. He has wings. He is the robot chicken. Alright, okay. He can hurt me by touching me. That used to be a rather outdated mechanic, you know, like where just touching the enemy would hurt you. I mean, some games it still remains, like Mario, because that's kind of how Mario plays. But most of the time, it's kind of a bad thing to do. Don't spawn your little robot chicken babies. Fuck. Shit, he's doing it again. Sometimes I'm missing the correct button inputs because of this. Oh, are you doing it again? I mean, thanks for the pickups, but... you know, kind of annoying. Right, come on. You're getting annoying now. Okay, he's dead. He's dead. He's definitely dead this time. There's no phase 3. Yeah. Yeah, I have a space jump now. Infinite jumps. Which most other games would call a moon jump. I remember I used to use, like, hacks on Pokemon games, using an action replay, back when that shit was still kind of not defended against in Nintendo games. And I just, like, walk through walls to get to places and cheat in Pokemon. I mean, to be fair, back then, you didn't really get any event Pokemon outside of Japan. And now they're better about it. They're way better about it now, but back then it was really difficult to get, like, anything. Because that was Generation 4. So, like, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. So, like, I mean, I know they never made Arceus available, but that's another thing. That actually reminds me, in Pokemon Sun and Moon, which is the most recent ones, I traded a shiny Rayquaza to the GTS to ask for an Arceus, because I know shiny Rayquaza is kind of valued because of the Mega Evolution for it, so I just wanted an Arceus, really. And the one I ended up getting was a shiny perfect IVs, level 100 Arzeus with beneficial nature. So I thought it was hacked at first, but no, it actually seems to be legit. Oh, come on. I've never played Pokemon competitively though. I kind of just like to collect everything, and I mean sometimes I will do semi-competitive stuff with friends, but I haven't done that for a very long time now. Yeah, I haven't played Pokemon in ages. Kind of Pokemon Black and White were, in my opinion, the best generation. Black and White and Black and White 2. X and Y were pretty shit. Like, in terms of story and setting and all of that, it was pretty bad. Even the Pokemon they introduced were pretty bad. I'm not going to rib on their designs because I'm not part of that mentality, but just there was so little and so few of them were actually kind of usable. I also think Mega Evolutions is a pretty bad idea because on paper it's good, but it's just been used to make already powerful Pokemon even better, so... And why not just give, like, Pokemon that need Mega Evolutions, why don't you just give them a third evolution like they did in Generation 4? But look, I'm playing Metroid, I'm not going to talk about Pokemon for ages.